Mboya, and I have two response from the two questions that I picked. The first question was clearly compare and contrast your impressions about African American literature culture before you enroll in African American literature with the understandings you have now the class is over. Well, I have a response to that. Based on my experience as an African student here in America, I will admit that I was clueless about African American literature, but not so much with their culture, because I have been around a few African American friends, and I had an opportunity to learn their culture through food, music, and clothes. My impressions about African American literature culture before enrolling in African American literature class were not so great, and it's because of what I was told, seen, and heard from most of white American friends when I first arrived in Kansas from Tanzania. My impression about literatures were basically slavery, oppression, poverty, rape, slave women, starvation, lynching, and worshiping slave masters. Also, in African American culture, my impressions prior to the class were laziness, poverty, poor management, AIDS and HIV, single parent homes, lack of knowledge about the history of African American, multiple children with multiple partners, and many more. Well, to compare with the understanding I have now that since I took the class, my impression were completely changed, and it's due to the understanding of African American literature, culture studies that I've done in this class. I will start with the literature where I have learned Americans, writers of African descent did a wonderful job addressing issues such as women's rights and the civil rights movement. And since the late 18th century, their work has been existed from slavery narratives of the 19th century to the Harlem Renaissance of the 1920s, all the way to the 20th century, where works by authors such as W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington shows how to deal / approach racism attitude in the United States during the civil rights movement. After witnessing, I'm going to quote Booker T. Washington from the book that we were assigned to read. It's going to come from page 548. Booker T. Washington wrote, after witnessing the systematic legalization of social segregations throughout the South in the 1890s, many African Americans conclude that self-reliance and racial solidarity were their last best hopes for a decent life in the United States. Also, to add a little bit into that, African American culture, most of us were very naive about it. Majority of us, we pretty much knew about the African American culture through music and also sports. But after I took this class and got to know a few African American friends, my understanding a little bit differently. I learned that most use the creative movements such as hashtag Black Lives Matter, where they fight police brutality and racial profiling. So that's one thing also I learned about after enrolling in this class. Also, there's another question. I'm going to have a response to that. That question was, what is the black aesthetic? Do you believe that there